welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Oline and I'm a knitter from Norway, and I have my son with me here today to do this intro, so hopefully that won't be too disturbing. But every year I try to make myself a striped sweater. I make one per year, and the first year I did it in 2022, it was the Marseille sweater by Petiteknit, and the second year I did it, last year, I made the direction loop sweater by Other Loops, and this year I really want to do the Olga Sweater by Petiteknit, and I thought I'd bring you guys along with me for it. I have just bought the yarn. I also, the same day I bought yarn, I bought this lovely basket at a thrift store. I love to store my yarn in basket like this. I have bought the yarn for my Olga sweater and for my son's Holger sweater in here, but I'm going to be using the Smart yarn from Sandnes Garn, because I already had the Smart yarn for my son's Holger sweater, and I wanted to make them in the same yarn even though they won't be in the same colors. So I'm going to be using Smart, and I decided to go with white and red. I did think about doing it in white and like a really dark pink first, but they didn't have that at my yarn store, and I wanted to buy the yarn locally because I didn't want to wait for shipping, and also to support the local yarn stores. So I ended up with red and white, and the more I think about it, the more happy I am with that. I am really loving red lately. I have been loving red the last couple of months, so having more red in my closet, I'm really excited for that. I also think white and red stripes are just a classic, and I won't really tire of it, so I'm really excited to start this sweater. I haven't done a gauge swatch, but I don't think I'm going to end up doing one either, because I am quite impatient and now I really just want to cast on. But I thought I'd make this video and bring you guys along with me as I knit my third striped sweater for the third year in a row, and to bring you guys with me on the process of knitting the Olga sweater. But now I'll go actually cast on. I've also roped my mom into doing this sweater with me. I am doing a knit along, so I have some knitters with me in a group chat on Instagram, and I've also roped my mom into doing this with me. She's using a yarn I'm pretty sure won't meet gauge, but she's having fun trying out a new shoulder construction and trying out a new way of making a sweater, and also just repurposing yarn she already had at home. So I think it will be fun to knit this sweater alongside her, and I'm also excited to see how different sweaters will end up getting, since my yarn is closer to the correct gauge and hers really isn't. So that's also going to be fun. But now I'm going to go actually cast on and stop rambling. At vi ikke hadde sånn speil bak, så vi kunne sett morsa. Ja. Her er Hi, I'm back with a little, or rather quite big, update on the Olga sweater. I have been knitting on it for some time now, but the last week that I've been knitting on it, I haven't had that much knitting time. I've been busy in my day-to-day life, and it's also summer and I have a lot of other things going on, so I just haven't been knitting that much. But the stripes on the Olga sweater is really addictive, and I love the colors that I chose. So I have really been wanting to have a really good like knit session where I just sit down and focus totally on the Olga for as many hours as possible. And I finally got that yesterday, and I got so much done. You've already seen this, but I have finished the back, which looks really pretty. And then I think yesterday I started on the shoulders, picking up for the shoulders, which looks really good. The pickup here from doing the German short rows and then into shoulders, love how that looks. Knit the shoulders, increases for the neckline, did the other shoulder, joined the front yoke, and knit like half the front yoke yesterday before stopping. So I did almost all of the front yesterday, which was really fun to just have a really good knit session where I got a lot done and really got into the pattern. And then today I have finished the front yoke and just barely started working in the round, and I think that was a great time to stop and kind of catch up with you guys. And I am obsessed with this, also just holding up like this. I can't wait to be able to use this. It's going to be such a great sweater for summer, I think, with this colors. In the pattern it says that your darker color should kind of be your main color and the lighter one should be like the contrasting color. I haven't done that because I wanted a really light summery sweater. I don't know if I'll regret it since the pattern is designed for the darker color to be the main one, but I wanted the main color to be white because I want this to be a summery sweater and just a lighter sweater. I feared that if red was the main color, red would be really overpowering, since red already is quite overpowering. So I kind of wanted to take some precautions against that, and that's why white is the main color. So far I like it. I like how this looks. It is looking really summery for me, and I really like it. However, when picking these colors, I only thought about colors I liked, and I quite like red and I wanted a big contrast, so I went with white. And I didn't think about it until I had cast on and I showed my fiance to like show him how happy I was with my newest whip, and I showed him and he just went like, "Where's Waldo?" So I definitely can't unsee it now that he's pointed it out, but even though he's pointed that out and it's definitely something I can't unsee now, I still really like it. It also quite reminds me of Norwegian like childhood cartoon Pinky from Kaptein Sabeltann and his t-shirt, I think it is. So it has a lot of cartoonish resemblance, but I really love these colors for it, and it also quite reminds me of like strawberries with cream. So I think this is going to be a great sweater for summer, and it's also knit in 100% wool, so it's going to be great for other times of year. It's probably also going to be great for Christmas because of all of the white and red. So I think this is going to be a staple in my wardrobe after this, but I just wanted to check in. I would say I am close to finishing my second skein of each color. It does so far eat yarn at about the same rate for both of the colors, but I think now that I am working on the body, I'm going to like stop that because I am just about to change colors on the body, and I'm going to go in and do the neckline because it always looks a lot more finished once I've done the neckline. And I'm also probably going to do the neckline a bit different than the pattern, because I can't really decide which color I would want for the neckline. White would help so that the red would not be that overpowering, but I've also seen someone on Instagram do it with both colors, so I think I'm probably going to do that, just to kind of keep the stripes going throughout the sweater, because I know that the rest of the sweater also has stripes on the ribbing, so why not also do that for the neckline. But I'm just going to do that now, so the finished neckline has time to sit with me and I can really figure out if I like it or not, and if not, I'll still have time to go back and fix it while the project is still a work in progress, because I know if that's the last thing I do, I'm just going to leave it no matter how much I like it or not. But if I do it while it's still a work in progress, the likelihood of me going back and fixing it is much greater. But that is my little or not so little update on the Olga sweater, and now I'm going to go back to actually knitting on it. Hi, I'm back with a really quick update. I am currently on a mini vacation. We're visiting my grandma's house in the south of Norway. It's a bit more summer here, so I'm not really working a lot on my more woolly projects and bigger projects. I'm trying to do like smaller things that is easier to take with me where we're going and easier to work out outside when it's warm. But I did bring my Olga and I have finished the body. So this is her. I am obsessed with it. The more I knit on it, the more I love it, and I think these colors are great summer colors. It is a bit too hot here currently to wear it, but it is super pretty and I'm really happy with how the ribbing turned out. This is a lot like thinner ribbing than I'm used to doing, but I really liked it for this project. It means that now pre-washing it does curl up a bit, but I think once this is done, it's going to be so nice to have a sweater in my wardrobe with a bit of a thinner ribbing. And also once the ribbing was done, I got to try it on a bit better, and I've been a bit afraid that it's been a bit too tight, not oversized enough, and that it won't really have any drop shoulder at all. But now that the body is finished and I got to try it on and focus on rolling out these edges, it looks like I'm actually going to have drop shoulders, and I also think knitting the actual sleeves will help with that, both so the edges won't roll up and to add a bit of extra weight there. But I just wanted to give an update on where I'm at with the Olga right now, and this is it. I only have the sleeves left now, obviously, and I think I'm going to start on that tonight probably, and hopefully it will knit up quite quickly. The sleeves are striped and a lot smaller circumference, so I think they're going to go by really fast, and I'm also really excited to be able to wear this now. And we're going back home on Saturday, I believe, and back home it isn't that hot, so it would be nice to be able to wear this when I get back home. But that is it for the Olga for now. Okay, I'm just here to do a super quick little update. As you've seen, I finished my Olga sweater. I have the wrong side turned in now because I am about to weave in ends, but I have started, just as I've been about to finish this, I've started being really worried about how it's going to be when I finally wash it, I'm really afraid it's going to bleed because it is red, which is, in my opinion, the color that's most likely to bleed, and it's also white, which is the color most like that has the most weakness when it comes to bleeding. It really takes that color really easily, so I'm really afraid of it bleeding. So what I have actually done is, even though the project is done, I've just now done my swatch for this project, just a super quick tiny little swatch. I did 2 stripes of each. Hopefully that's a big enough swatch to represent how it will be like washing. And I'm going to wash this the way I usually wash my knits, in the washing machine with the wool detergent that I use, nothing else. And we'll see how that turns out. And if not, I'll probably end up, if this bleeds, I'll probably end up hand washing this at least the first time when it's the most likely to bleed, and I'll probably use vinegar or something to help with the color bleed if it bleeds. But I do really want to be able to wash it my regular way, so I'm going to try that with this swatch first and go from there. I really hope and kind of believe that since this is superwash, that might help with the bleeding a bit, since it's already been chemically treated and everything, that the color maybe might not bleed as much. So, but I'm just going to go get this washed, and while I wait for this to be washed and dried, I'm going to weave in ends on this one. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and fingers crossed it all goes well, so I can just put this in the washing machine tonight, and then it will be finished and dry tomorrow, because I am so excited to be able to use this. Hi, I'm back with the very final update, chat, whatever you want to call it, about the Olga sweater, and it is finally all done. I did weave in all the ends yesterday. There were so many with stripes and then construction, and it being a superwash yarn, there were just so many ends, but I did it, and I'm so happy I just did it immediately. I've been trying to do that with my knits recently, and it is definitely a weight lifted off my shoulders to just get it out of the way immediately. And in maybe the biggest news, the sweater has been washed, and I washed it the way I usually wash my knits. I did the swatch first because I was very worried, but the swatch turned out fine, totally fine, no bleeding at all. So I was a bit worried still because this is bigger, but I decided to just go for it because it was late at night and I didn't really want to learn how to hand wash my knits at that point. So I put it in the washing machine, and I took no extra measures because I don't know how the washing machine would handle vinegar and all of that stuff. So, and the swatch didn't bleed, so I just went for it, and the sweater didn't bleed at all. It's absolutely perfect. It is still a bit, it's not wet, but it's still a bit damp, I would say, maybe, because it's cold. Things don't dry that fast here right now, but it is so lovely. I knit the sleeves a bit longer just because I usually knit my sleeves with Petiteknit just a tiny bit short, and I was like, that's not going to happen this time. So when I tried it on, I tried to make sure the sleeves were going to be long enough. And when I washed it, the shoulder also dropped a little bit extra, and the part here that had been rolling up a bit also dropped. So I got a lot of extra length, but I think this is going to be really great now that our color time is coming, and I think being able to do this with your sweater is so cozy. I don't know if it matches totally with the length of the sweater because that is quite cropped, but I also knit this sweater a bit longer than I usually do because sometimes I tend to crop my sweater a little bit too much. So I think I knit 2 more stripes than I usually would have for this sweater, so I knit everything and try a bit longer and tried really hard to be more patient with this one, because I wanted it to kind of have no falls, nothing to really bother me. Like, oh no, I knit this a bit too short, or this a bit too short or too long. So I'm really happy I took the time to do that and took the time to try it on multiple times throughout my time knitting it, because that really makes the biggest difference. You can measure as much as you want, but not everyone has the same length arm or same length upper body, or there are a lot of variables. So I'm trying to get better at actually trying on my knitting, and it's been a major game changer, and I'm so pleased with this one. I remember the first time I tried it on and the drop shoulder hit me at about here, I think, and I was so worried. I was like, oh my god, I either picked the wrong size and this is totally off, or my gauge is completely off, and I'd already done more than half the body at that point, and I just wanted to stop working on this sweater, to be honest. But I knew that drop shoulders, they need kind of a block to sit right, because the shoulder seam here rolls up a bit, and when you don't have sleeves on at all to weigh it down, and the neckline was really tight, so that also pulled everything just closer. But now that it is washed, it's blocked, this turned out perfectly. It is oversized, but it's not too oversized. The drop shoulder kind of hits me exactly where I would want it. I think the only thing about this that I'm not 100% in love with is that the sleeves are quite oversized down here, but for me they're not oversized at all up here, because I have quite big upper arms, and that's nothing to do with the pattern at all. That's just how it fits me. But that's kind of the only thing I don't love. I would love if it was an oversized sleeve the whole way down, but I think I would have to size up for that, and that's something I already know, because that's usually how all sleeves are for me, because my upper arms are quite big. But other than that, I absolutely love this sweater, and I just know that this is going to be a great sweater to wear every day. And it's also such a fun sweater because it has such a big contrast, and I'm so pleased I went with a really high contrast for this sweater. That was the most important thing for me when picking out yarn. I really wanted something like pink toned. Didn't find a pink with high enough contrast, but I did find something kind of in that area with a high enough contrast. And now that this sweater is done, and now that I've been working on it for almost a month, I am so happy I ended up going with red, because I think I'm going to be able to use this a lot more. I don't use pink quite as much as I use red, and I really want to knit more with pink and use more pink, but I think for this sweater red was absolutely the right color, and red and white together is also just such a pretty color. It is quite classic, I think, and together they just give me summer vibes, and it's also going to be great for fall, and I think it's going to be great for Christmas, so I can't wait to use this sweater all the time. And I have dubbed it my Where's Waldo sweater, so I could also probably use it for Halloween. So I'm just super excited about this sweater, and now I'm going to just go and be happy that I'm finally able to use it. That was all for this time. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and a comment. That means the world to me. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe. Bye!